What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back. We are doing another one of these truth or lie challenges where folks over on the Patreon submit things that either did or did not happen sometime in pro wrestling history. So it could either be something crazy that happened or just something made up that sounds like it might have happened. And Tally over here is going to try to guess whether all of those are truths or lies.
Wish me luck.
Now remember, Tally, I'm no longer going to be telling you who submitted these until after we've done them, because sometimes I feel like you're starting to learn our patrons a little bit and you're starting to pick up on their tendencies a little bit. So the first one is Antonio Inoki, the founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling, once stormed down the ramp in a match involving Luke Gallows that he thought was so bad he stopped the match himself while also throwing a chair at the ring.
Oh, that's some drama. Did they have drama like that in? You said New Japan, right?
Yes, that is it's claiming that the founder of New Japan did this.
Oh, I mean, a founder would be the one to get angry, but would he publicly show it like that?
He's like the one that can do it without getting fired, right? I guess, founders aren't always the people running it, though, like with businesses.
I guess, yeah, that's true too. But that is the one person that could do it. But doesn't that set like a weird look for the company?
I mean, it doesn't mean the founder is going to always make the best decisions, so that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I guess,
yeah, because I mean, that's how it ended up.
That's why it's memorable. If it happened, then that's why it'd be memorable.
I don't know. I don't see. I mean, I haven't seen that much New Japan. Let's be honest. But from the vibes that I've gotten, I can't see something like that happening. I guess it could be in kayfabe. Oh, I'm gonna say false. I don't think something like that happens in New Japan.
This is true. Inoki was so upset at the sloppy and poorly paced matchup that he angrily walked down the ramp while throwing the chair and told the ref to end it. It left Luke Gallows so embarrassed that he actually strived to be a better wrestler from that point forward.
That's something you can say like behind the curtain, you know? Like, let the match happen. It's bad. But then you go backstage and you say like, hey, that was like, we don't do that here. Like, we need something better. That's not something you do like in the ring. And did you say he threw a chair?
Yes.
No, that's not the way to handle that. I'm sorry, that's not the way to handle that.
Well, you're 0 for 1 so far.
Great.
The next one is Hulk Hogan once had a sumo monster truck match with the Giant, aka Big Show. I'm guessing this means at a WCW pay-per-view. Hulk Hogan once had a sumo monster truck match with the Giant, aka Big Show, at a WCW pay-per-view.
What does that even mean?
I mean,
a sumo monster truck? Like, were there actual trucks involved?
I mean, using my context clues, sumo wrestling is usually two guys bumping into each other until one of them gets knocked out of a circle. A sumo monster truck match, that makes me picture multiple trucks bumping into each other to push them out of a circle. That's what I would picture when I hear that.
Is this a Vince Russo?
This is WCW, so I think there was a period where Vince Russo worked there, right?
This seems like some weird idea that he would come up with. Like, where would they even do this? Like in the parking lot? I can't even imagine how this would work. I've been surprised before, but oh my god.
What do you think?
I can't see them. I can't see where they would do this, so I'm gonna say false.
I'm glad you said I can't see where they would do this, because it makes the answer a lot better. This is Philly Man's submission, and they say that this is true.
God damn it.
This is at Halloween Havoc 1995. This pay-per-view was at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit. However, this particular match took place on the roof of Cobo Hall.
Are you kidding me?
Which I feel like we heard. I feel like we learned this. Now, I wouldn't have gotten this from the question, but I feel like on the Patreon when we watched the the Monday Night Wars and stuff, I swear part of it covered this happening on the roof of Cobo Hall in Detroit, and us being from the Detroit area, like that. I feel like that stuck with me. So
How did that not stick with me?
0 for 2. Next up, Limp Bizkit's song Rollin' was used for The Undertaker's theme from 2000-2002. One of the agreements that THQ and Ukes had to be allowed to use the rights to use the song in WWF SmackDown was to make Fred Durst, who is apparently the lead singer of Limp Bizkit, a playable character in the game. So to use his song, one of the parts of the agreement was that he needed to be a playable character in the game. Is that true or false? Is that truth or lie?
That's fun. I would actually really like to have him in the game. So, a little biased if I pick true, but you know what? I'm gonna go true. I'm gonna go true.
RW_96 says true. Part of the deal to be able to use Rollin' in Just Bring It was to have Fred Durst himself. All right, I wasn't wrong the first time. They spelt it wrong the first time. I just trusted them. So now it's saying Fred Durst himself appears as a playable character in the game. He was a secret unlockable character to unlock him. You had to win more than 15 matches in Slobber Knocker mode with the Undertaker. Slobber Knocker mode was how many people can you beat in a time limit. So it's something like a gauntlet match. Okay.
I don't know what I expected.
You could unlock him in the game.
As a secret. I like that. That's really cool.
True or false? The WWE once held a pay-per-view with no matches, consisting only of segments, angles, promos, and ad spots for the full price of a pay-per-view.
No shot. The only thing I do believe is all the ads. Ads 100%.
If you said it was just ads start to finish, it'd be more believable.
And it costs more. There's no shot there's not a single match. That's false. No way.
Mahmood says, thankfully, false. Although it's been rumored to have been pitched many times to Top Brass and Vince Russo reportedly want to do one.
Of course it's Vince Russo. Get out of here with that.
The main event of WCW Nitro on September 25th, 2000 featured a match between Jeff Jarrett and Mike Awesome. The stipulation was a 2 out of 3 falls first blood match in which the winner had to make their opponent bleed twice. Mike Awesome began bleeding just 2 minutes into the match, resulting in a loss of the first fall. He got patched up and cleared by the medical team, only to be immediately struck with a guitar. This caused him to bleed again, awarding Jarrett the second fall and the immediate victory.
So that's like 5 minutes? You said within the first 2 minutes that happened?
I guess. Yeah, started bleeding in the first 2 minutes. And then then it says only to he got cleared by the medical team, only to be immediately struck with a guitar, causing him to bleed again.
Why would they
this was
think
the main
guitar...
event at a Nitro. At a Nitro. It's not a pay-per-view, but
it's not like completely devastating. But like, why would you think a guitar is a safe bet after already getting cut? Like, here. But it seems like a believable accident, so I'm gonna say true.
Marcus says this is a lie.
Okay, good. That would be a terrible main event, and I'd feel terrible for anyone there live, for sure.
They said this match never happened, but they said, of course, the main event of this show was actually much better. It featured Vince Russo beating Booker T for the world title.
Dude.
So, I'm not going to lie. The lie would have been the better main event.
Yeah, I would have preferred the lie, if I'm being honest.
In WCW, Sting was saved from an assault by the Four Horsemen, thanks to a run-in from Robocop.
Robocop. Is that like an actual person? I don't know Robocop very much. Oh no. Oh no, I'm gonna get trashed. Oh no.
I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed.
No, don't say that.
I can't believe you don't know. I'm not that much. I'm only a few years older. All right, whatever. Just answer the question. Is it true or false?
I'm sorry. False.
It's true, damn it. Chris says True, though I'm using the term run-in quite loosely. Yeah, I was gonna. That's actually funny that he wrote it in quotes run-in because Robocop can't run. I just don't think he can run, but usually he walks really like.
Well, that would have helped me a little bit.
No, the quotes are only in the answer.
Oh, okay.
We're watching Robocop.
I'm so gonna get trashed for that.
Daniel Bryan versus Charlie Sheen was a match scheduled for WWE SummerSlam 2012.
Charlie Sheen. I mean, not that I know every like celebrity that's been part of a match. I don't recognize him being.
You know who
part of
Charlie
anything.
Sheen is, right?
Yeah, that's the. Oh God, I'm gonna dig myself into a bigger hole. Is it like the 2.5 Men dude?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I don't remember him being. I don't remember hearing anything about him being in any kind of wrestling match. No, I'm gonna say false.
Terrence says this is true.
Terrence!
Charlie Sheen was gaining traction for a lot of negative things back in 2012 that involves rants about winning. Charlie filmed a promo and did a Skype segment. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in forever. I remember the Charlie Sheen like winning. Oh my God, I remember that was like a thing for a minute.
Oh yeah.
I completely forgot about that like little viral. Okay, anyway. Along with a couple of segments on Raw, but it never materialized in a match because he backed out at the last minute due to not wanting to take on the load of a pro wrestler. Rumor has it that CM Punk incited the incident after it gained viral traction on Twitter when Charlie started disrespecting Daniel Bryan. This match was replaced with D. Bry versus Kane. After AJ Lee didn't marry him, she was named GM of Raw, sent into anger management after she found out that D. Bry planned on having her committed to a mental institution if they had gotten married. Anyway, he was attacked by Kane, who was his anger management therapist. This also led to Dr. Shelby stuff and Team Hell No. Most of that does not apply to
what a wrap-up answer.
Yeah, this is somehow we went on a tangent and we're just going off and telling the whole story. So the answer is yes. Charlie Sheen was scheduled because that was the original thing. He was scheduled. He was not actually in it though. He backed out.
Dang, I should have used that as a clue.
In the early 1990s, WWF ran an angle where 7 wrestlers with medieval warrior gimmicks, a footman, an archer, a mounted knight, a berserker, a magician, a spearman, and an assassin, fought in a tournament of sorts in order to claim the Holy Grail.
Am I lame for wanting to see that?
No.
I would love that.
It sounds awesome.
That would be so cool. But a tournament for the Holy Grail? Hell yeah, that's true.
Prototype says it is false.
God damn, no, Proto, why?
This is actually the setup for an anime series and visual novel called Fate/Stay Night. So, I mean, this exists. You can watch the anime.
I know what I'm watching.
After Robocop. Hulk Hogan and Triple H's last ever matches were both against Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. Is that true? I have no idea who Hulk Hogan's last match was. And was Triple H's last match the one where he was like experiencing like the heart stuff? Do you know? Or is that
I don't know if that was his. Maybe the one where he was like kind of collapsing a little bit and struggling.
Yeah. That's what I would imagine would be his last, but I don't know for sure.
Neither do I.
But I also don't know if that was against Randy, so that doesn't help very much. He's a respectable dude to have a last match against. Yeah, that's true.
Alone in a Box says it is false. They were both against Bobby Roode. Hulk Hogan's last match to date was teaming with James Storm and Sting against Kurt Angle, Bully Ray, and Bobby Roode in my hometown of Manchester, England. Triple H's last match was teaming with Shinsuke Nakamura to defeat Robert Roode and Samoa Joe on a house show in Tokyo in 2019. So both of their last matches were group matches that just happened to both feature being against Bobby Roode.
Interesting. Okay. Did not know that.
This next one is from a newer patron, so it doesn't matter if you know who they are because you don't know their tendencies yet. So this one comes in from Dominic XS. They say, there once was a feud in 1998 in WCW involving a wrestler named Jerry Flynn and Jerry Lynn, where Flynn would beat Lynn, then took his first name to become Jerry Flynn. The feud continues, and he beat Lynn again, and at some point beat Jerry Sags, one half of the Nasty Boys, to send Lynn out of WCW and then become Jerry Flynn Lynn. Lynn returned as a masked wrestler named Mr. JL and won Flynn's TV title, then was unmasked. They had one more match. If Lynn won, he got his job back and a name. If Flynn wins, he's gone and keeps all the names. Lynn would win, and Flynn would return to his original name, and they would become best friends, becoming the Flynn and Lynn Connection, and would become multi-time tag team champions, and would team up for years until Lynn turned heel, betraying his best friend and joining Steve Corino, C.W. Anderson, and Easy Money to form the Extreme Horsemen, where he became more successful until WCW closes and the storyline and stable was scrapped by WWF when they bought WCW, and the planned ending, as told by Jerry Flynn, was Lynn to become good again and reunited with his former best friend, Jerry Flynn, and to feud with the Extreme Horsemen. This entire thing had maybe 2 commas. So
Props
Dominic, if you're out there, we gotta restructure this going forward. I'm not reading that again, so you're welcome to just take a stab as is.
Can I just ask one question? It was near the beginning, so you'll be able to find it. What company?
WCW.
What in the world? Like, part of me is thinking, because I know we have one other person that does submissions that just gets super creative and it's extensive. I feel like this could be teetering on that type of idea.
Okay.
But I'm 0 for 2. So I have to be careful. I can't just be like, oh no, that's too long, so it has to be false. Third time's a charm. I'm guessing false.
Dominic says this was false. It is a storyline that I made in TEW 2016, a fantasy booker game in my WCW save until the ending of the story is, or the ending of, as the story is still going on in WCW. Oh, so in his fantasy book, basically false. He made it up in his own version of WCW, which is still alive and well. So there you go.
The fact that you can keep track of that is pretty crazy, but
Alberto Del Rio is the only man to win the Royal Rumble and Money in the Bank match in the same year.
That's an interesting stat.
It seems.
Has anyone else done that?
It seems pointless.
It does seem pointless.
Well, either that or unearned, like in terms of like, because if that would mean you either went to the Rumble and won it while still holding the briefcase, or you cashed in, failed, and then won the Rumble, or cashed in, won, went in the Rumble and won with that's some like,
oh, to like keep his title,
or to like go be a double title holder or something like that.
Sure, you could do either one.
They all sound like awful ideas.
Like they never had awful ideas.
I didn't say that made it improbable. I said it sounds like awful ideas.
I don't think so. I feel like I don't know how loved he was. Like if he was like a huge name, then people might want to see that, but I probably wouldn't want to see that. So I'm gonna say false.
Steamed Ham champion Dylan Haggett says true. Del Rio won the first and only 40-man Rumble in 2011 from number 38, but lost the World Heavyweight Championship match to Edge at WrestleMania, which was Edge's last match for 9 years. He'd go on to win the Raw Money in the Bank briefcase in July and cash it in on CM Punk at SummerSlam after Punk had unified his WWE title with John Cena's after being attacked by Kevin Nash.
Wow. I can't believe they actually did that. I guess like there's like a good series of events though. It's not
It was
like
a Raw Money. Maybe before they did a women's one, was there 2 cases, one on Raw and one on SmackDown? A Raw Money in the Bank briefcase? Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. Started on Mania, I guess, and went to weekly.
Maybe there was a
shows,
briefcase for each title, like each of the 2 titles.
Oh, that makes sense.
Maybe.
That's possible.
Well, that's all of them. I'll be honest, you didn't do that good. I don't know what your score is.
I don't feel like I did well.
This might be the most you got wrong out of all the times that we have done this. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe so when she tries again in the future to redeem herself. she could do just that. If you're over on the Patreon, if you're a max tier or higher, you're welcome to participate in this video in the future as well. But thank you so much to all those patrons that are flying up the screen, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Also, Fish edited this video, so Fish can do a little thing at the end here while the credits are rolling.